This morning it's a tad windy here in the anchorage at Big Mama. It's not nice at all. I gotta stop him in a minute. He's over revving. It's that windy when the gusts come through. Friends of mine over here are a little bit close to me when we swing in opposite directions, but they'll be okay. It wasn't like this when they came in yesterday. You could see all the white horses in the anchorage there. See now while we're swinging, we're not that far apart. Whoa! Holy crap. Actually, we're quite close. I didn't realize we were that close. Oh, the sun has only just come up. Dinghy's full of water. I got to do something about that now. The new boat came in yesterday, quite similar lines to mine. Timo and Johanna moved over to town, which is over there. And they're anchored across by the shore, which is not really a good place to be in this weather. I'll give them a call in a minute and see how they are. Gotta empty that first. I gotta take this down and stop him. It's already come loose a couple of times during the night. Well, I'm glad that wasn't my finger. I got that wrong. Sorry about all the wind noise on the microphone. It's almost inevitable in this kind of weather. What I'm basically saying here, and I'm having to overdub this because it was inaudible, as this wind is just never ending. Difficult to get things done. The guy behind me, they're friends of mine, a nice couple. They didn't mean to anchor quite so close, and we'd been discussing whether they should move the boat or not, because really they were a little bit close at certain times when the wind blew hard. And another thing my neighbor and I were concerned about was a friend of ours in a rather large yacht, you can just see it over my shoulder. They were dragging anchor. Now there's another boat coming. I hope he doesn't come in here. He'll have been out all night, this guy. Still got his navigation lights on and a yellow flag to say that he hasn't booked into the country yet. I like the idea that he's going to anchor in front of me. Where's he going? Don't anchor in there, anywhere in there, mate. No, 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 no. And he's not. Good. My neighbours are saying keep an eye out, don't anchor anywhere near us in this weather. You can see now while I've been talking, we've come together again. It's a little bit frightening, and matey boys sailing around us. All scary stuff. Just occurred to me to start the engine. I haven't had it running for about 3 weeks, just to make sure it does start, just in case. Just been talking to my neighbour there, and we decided that the wind is actually beginning to back and turn. It was blowing from up there, but it's slightly over to this way now. That means that the boats will turn and he will pass in front of me. So we were trying to work out just how much gap there's going to be when he passes in front of me, and he'll end up on my starboard side. And we reckon it's just going to be okay. See some of the other boats up there by the reef. If the wind turns completely, they'll be facing onto the reef. See, Shadi likes to dance in the wind. She's off over here now. It's when she comes back the other way, close to my neighbour, I worry. Ooh.
I think that'll do. I just wanted to warm her up, make sure she was okay.
Thank you, Perkinson. That's the oil warning light. That's normal, that's good. I had planned to do a lot today. There's lots of things to do, in fact, before I move the boat, which I was going to do this week, but it looks like it's going to be pretty nasty weather, if this is anything to go by, because I have to navigate through the reefs to get out of here, and then there's the prospect of actually sailing somewhere in rough weather when I haven't been to sea for a month. So I might just stay here for another week. Yeah, it's all up in the air at the minute. Yeah, there we go. Even though it was a nasty windy day, I had to stop and look at the wonderful colours. That sky definitely looked like it was going to throw something nasty at me at any moment. But I had to admire the beauty of it. The absolute and utter beauty of this.
The other thing I need to do is to get some more food, but that's all the vegetables and fruit I've got left. Oh dear.
And on top of that, I've also run out of beer tokens, so I can't even buy any beer at the bar. It's looking bad, folks. Looking real bad. A few hours later, and it looks like there's a belt of rain coming in over there, and the wind has changed direction slightly. I was having a little sleep, an old man sleep down below, because there's nothing else to do. And I came up and the boat's rocking like she is now, which made me sort of get up and have a look. And my friends have moved over to the right hand side of me. That's because we've swung round a little bit. Probably can't see very well, but the floating dock that's in front of the main dock there, they've had a problem with that, and they've let it loose. The steps collapsed, and I don't know what they've done with it. And so it went on for the rest of the day. Nobody was doing anything except keeping anchor watch on their boat. The next day I went ashore, but while waiting for the return ferry, I was so tired I fell asleep. Yeah, why not? Be like the locals do. Chill. My friends on the boat Nomad had also come ashore. They brought their boat with them because they wanted fuel. Smile! Try sailing! When the ferry did finally turn up, Big Mama's husband was on board. He was on a mission to buy beer because the New Zealand Navy were in town and they needed a drink. Been doing some shopping, got all the fresh stuff there ready to be washed in salt water to kill any cucarachas that might be in there. Bag full of snacks, couple of dozen eggs, and a box of wine. Managed to get myself a good deal on some fresh vegetables. This amount of stuff on board won't last me very long. It'll probably go rotten before I can eat it. One thing I don't like is when they tie them up with bits of plastic. That kind of spoils the whole thing of being green, I think. I love the oranges you get in this part of the world. They're not bitter like the ones I get back in England. So I've been buying loads of them. I've got some green tomatoes here as well. And I got some sort of half green, half red ones back there. Last day and it's a rush. Got the diving gear ready there to go under, do a final clean at the bottom of the boat. Stacks of papers and notes and stuff everywhere. Lists of things to do and empty cans of peanuts. It's all go. A stack of computers here. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Navigation,
editing. There's a MacBook there. There's 2 Samsung tablets. One's for editing and one's for internet. I was about to take another dive under the boat to do some cleaning, then I remembered I'd forgotten one job. I should have left yesterday. My friends have left. There's only a few boats still here, but I forgot a job. Anchor winch is not working again. No. It's a dirty, filthy job, and that involves lots of grease. Problem with jobs, if you don't put them on the list, they don't get done, and if you forget to put them on the list, you know, they obviously don't get done. So here we are. I can't remember how I did this last time. I don't want to panic. If I drop something in the sea like that, then I'm really in trouble. But it's not working. Ceased again. Trying to remember how I did it last time. It is shifting slowly. It's coming bit by bit. Things like this, it'll pop off. You probably got, oh, there it goes. It's starting to move now. Right. Hooer. Okay. I better concentrate. Don't want to lose any of that in the sea.
I had one more job to do before I left. Had to go ashore and say goodbye to these guys. A Big Mama and her husband. The couple that ran the island and this wonderful place, Big Mama's. If you're ever in the area, check it out. A brilliant place for a beer and a burger. There are some places you go and you just love them. You think, oh, and nice people, nice people. Tomorrow is another day. I'm sailing the boat to New Zealand. First I'm going to go to a place called Minerva Reef. It's always a challenge getting on board. I've been sitting here now for 5 minutes waiting for a page to load. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. This is how slow the internet is in some of these places. It's so slow. And it does my head in. When you have a lot of things that you do on the internet, not just for pleasure but for business, or like I do with the YouTube and everything, it's like just to post anything is a major trauma. It's so slow. What I'm saying is you guys should be thankful for the internet that you have, where it goes ding boom boom zip. None of that here. It's just like ding dong dong. This thing is still, it's just gone to a cloudy thing that says, you know, you need to refresh this because it's not happening. Thought I'd just mention this. It's quite late tonight and I'm trying to tie up all the loose ends. It's just ain't happening. So I'm looking forward to get to New Zealand and some fast internet that actually works. Please, I want fast internet. I'm only acting there, it's not real. But I still want fast internet. Engine check. Almost the last as I sail away from Big Mama's Yacht Club on the island over there. I think there were 2 boats left. Sad to say goodbye. We're under sail. Yeah, it looks very shallow and a lot of it is, so I've got to concentrate here. We're going through reefs. It took me nearly an hour to get the anchor up. I had all the chain out and I'd been sitting there for 6 7 weeks just about, so it's well bedded in. It's disconcerting. You see light coloured bits of water, you think it's shallow. Sometimes it actually means it's deeper. It's just a shallow a sandy patch that could be deeper than the dark stuff. The New Zealand Navy are here getting drunk this weekend. Bless them. So it's probably a good time that I left. The bars are going to be full of sailors all wanting a drink. See what I mean there? That water is very, very sand coloured, turquoisey, sort of shallowy looking. And of course you remember that the depth gauge doesn't work. Thank you very much. That's getting replaced in New Zealand.
Local Alpha port control, local Alpha port control, Coral Islander 2, please come in.
Anyway, it's time for lunch on the go. Salad, boiled eggs and some homemade bread, that'll do it. I haven't eaten yet today. Well, the island is slowly disappearing behind us, but off to the sides there's lots of reefs. I'm actually going to make a turn in a minute. That looks like we can get out of the reef system up ahead there, but there is actually a barrier reef all the way along there. You can't see it, but it's there, so I'm going to have to turn up there in a minute, which will mean I'll have to change the sails round. It's nice to be back at sea again. I've got to say I was feeling a little bit nervous and apprehensive. Bit stressed out I was. There's a few formalities and things involved in going to New Zealand, which is where I'm going, and a few other bits and pieces. I was like, oh, but once you actually get out, and I was nervous about the engine, nervous about the reefs, still slightly nervous about the reefs, got a few more to get through yet before we reach the open sea. But once you're at sea, you're in control. I feel in control of my own destiny. I know that's not strictly true, but I'm in command. I make the decisions. It's great. It's a nice feeling. And this is my own little kingdom, you know. New Zealand. It's a place I've always wanted to go. And I've read books about the place, about sailing to New Zealand, and never thought in a million years I'd do it. And here I am. There's one thing that will occur when I get there, which I'll tell you about when I get there, because I'm not there yet, but it will mean that I've crossed the entire Pacific Ocean solo on my boat. That is a biggie, because I've crossed the Pacific, but the whole of the Pacific, it reaches right up to New Zealand. Some would argue maybe Australia, but anyway, New Zealand's good enough for me. Going to do Australia next year, by the way, all being well. New Zealand, yes, great. Lots of things to do there. Going to lift a boat out, do all kinds of repairs and stuff. Going to Minerva Reef first. There's a set of reefs down there. They're about 250 miles from here. They're going to stop there because, especially the speed that Shaddy does, we all know she's a slow boat. I'm going to have a couple of different weather systems blow through, and it's crucial to get it right, because and also there's been some nasty weather down off North Island in New Zealand. A few weeks ago, a guy got killed and the 3 others were hospitalized and the boat was sunk, and we're talking some nasty weather. People were getting 40 to 50 knots on the nose, and they're going into this stuff. We're going to be sailing into the wind. It's going to be a tough old voyage. I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking loads of people's advice here. I'm hoping to God it's going to be okay. And the other thing about Minerva Reef is that hopefully there's other people there with boats that have satellite communications who will be able to tell me what the weather's doing. Luckily, I've also met a few boats. We have a sked using my long distance single sideband radio. Ham radio. So we didn't have too much luck with it last time. Well, this time we'll see what happens. So that's going to be good. Okay, well, here we go. All exciting stuff. And I've got some tea. Ooh, kettle's boiling. Better go.
I've got an awful lot to get through before I can move the... I'm burping. Yes, so Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand first. So I'm going to put a cut there because it's not Australia, is it? Yeah, so